안녕하세요. This is Martin Hill, once again reporting to you from Asan, South Korea. This week has come very quickly. It's hard to believe that as of tomorrow, I will officially have been here for an entire month. Time was going really slowly at the beginning of the term, but now it's hard to imagine that I've been here this long already, and that the next 3 months are probably going to go by just as fast. So, before I know it, I'll probably be sitting here making my final video, reporting on what I've learned and everything. It's kind of a weird feeling to have. Anyway, this week, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some interactions with Koreans that I have either heard about or experienced directly that kind of give a little bit more light into what I wrote about earlier in my blog regarding Koreans being willing to help you out even if they've never met you before. In my blog, I wrote about a friend of ours here at the Global Village named Minnie, who helped us find a private room for our resident married couple. And spent 2 hours taking us around Hongdae in order to find it. We're still very grateful for her. She's really cool. Other just instances that I've experienced, I think I wrote about this already when I was talking about doing laundry, but the other day I was doing laundry down in the lobby, and the machine stopped at 10 minutes, and my clothes were still in probably like 6 inches of water. It was sopping wet. I was planning on just taking it to the laundry service, see if they could maybe dry it for me, because there was no way it was going to dry effectively being that wet. But then the security officer just came over. I guess he noticed I was having problems. He showed me how to fix it, which was basically just to do another cycle. And I was frustrated that I had to do it for another hour, but when I got back down, they were just fine, and so I'm really grateful to that security guard. The security guards will also call a taxi for you if you can at least get the point across that you need one, and so they're actually very helpful even if their English is limited. Another incident I've seen myself was when I traveled to Onyang a couple of weeks ago, just exploring around because it's the nearest slightly larger city or town, I guess is more appropriate of a term. Just walking around, and this elderly woman, just as she was walking along her way on the same sidewalk, gave a little bow, was smiling, and kind of a formal greeting in an informal way, I guess you could put it. And so I smiled, bowed, and said "안녕하세요" to her, and that seemed to very much impress her. That's not really helping out with that, just being very polite. I also encountered a group of high school students there who started talking to me in English, and I guess they were really excited to be able to practice it with somebody who is a native speaker, and I was able to ask them for directions to the place I was looking for, because I really got pretty lost. So I'm grateful to them as well. Another incident I heard about was at the subway station. One of the international students was sitting on a bench. There were a couple of older women on the other side, next to him, and this really small old lady came over and kind of glared at him, and eventually got the point across that she wanted to sit down, so he got up and she sat down. You'll also notice when you get on the subway that the old people especially move very fast in order to get a seat. So they know the system, they know what they need to do in order to get a seat, even though there's special seats set aside for them. If they can get a seat anywhere, they'll take it, which is kind of a good rule of thumb for everybody else on the subway as well, as long as you're not sitting in those that are supposed to be for senior citizens or pregnant women or people with children, things like that. Also, we'll need to know about the basic banking system here. It's a little bit different from what I'm used to back in America. Until you get your alien card, you cannot get a bank card or a debit card as we would know it. So until that time, you're going to need your bank book, which the university issues to you once the bank account's been set up and they've wired the stipend in. You'll need that and a copy of your passport to prove your identity, obviously. And once you have those two things, you go to the bank, which on campus is located in the same building as the Graduate Studies and the post office. Kind of a weird combination. But once you get into the bank, you just take out the slip, follow the instructions that you were given by the Global Exchange office here, and just filling in your bank account number, your name with a signature, and then the amount that you want to withdraw from your account. Just take those with your passport copy and your bank book. You hand them to the teller when your time comes, and you'll get your money. It's not really a problem at all. It's pretty convenient. Having a bank card will be nice, though, for those times when the bank is not open and I still need money for a meal or something. Because the bank closes at 4. It opens at 9, closes at 4, so a lot of the time that they're open, you'll probably be in class. Something to keep in mind if you're going to be coming to Soonchunhyang+University. And also, if you need to pay any bills for the school, like for bedding or for the fees for taking the picture, the application fee for the alien card, your cell phone, they'll give you a slip to transfer the money into the school account, but you have to pay it in cash. So keep that in mind as well if you're coming here. And I assume maybe other places in Korea too. Another thing that I'm going to talk about briefly is last week we had an unexpected field trip to the immigration office in Cheonan. And this cut into the time of one of my exchanges, which was supposed to be at 4 p.m., but we left for Cheonan on the bus at 4 p.m., so I haven't met that exchange yet. Hopefully I'll get to it tomorrow. But the bus ride, we had 2 buses. One full of all of the Chinese village students, or at least the ones that are new and needed to go to the immigration office, and then all the international students pretty much on a separate bus. And the whole process took about 2 hours to get everybody through, but all they do is they take your form and they scan your fingerprints, and then you're good. Hopefully that will help expedite the process of getting my alien card and my passport back, because I'd like to eventually visit the DMZ while I'm here, but I need my passport to do that, and to get a bank card, like I said before, you need the alien card. So hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll have that, and I won't have to worry about anything relating to that anymore. The other thing worth mentioning is more bugs. Yes, I know I've mentioned them before, like the gigantic spiders and the various bugs that get in through the window, and the omajas, or the older women who act as the house cleaners here for the dorms, that they'll open the window in order to let fresh air in. It's a cultural thing where it's thought that getting fresh air, no matter what the temperature is outside, it's always more healthy to have that fresh air. But it also lets bugs in. And last week we had a hornet, a really big hornet, in our dorm common area. I'm guessing somebody managed to get it to leave, but kind of unnerving to have that there. The spiders are still around. These black and yellow ones, apparently they're not poisonous, but they've received the nickname here of Rasta spiders. So they look cool, just don't bother them, or they'll bite you and it'll swell up. And I assume it will not be very comfortable. Other than that, the exchanges have started as of last week. What you do with those is you go to the Global Lounge, which is on the bottom floor of the School of Global Education and Exchange. You scan your fingerprint in to sign in, and then just wait for your Korean partner to show up. Sometimes they won't show up, sometimes they will actually, if you notice if they're not going to show up. Most of the time they'll show up because they're very eager to learn English and to practice what English they know with you and help you learn Korean. That's why it's an exchange. You each practice the language you're learning. The exchanges also are 1 hour, so when you sign in at like 11, you're supposed to end that exchange by noon. But sometimes if you go over, I assume it would be okay because you're making friends. As long as you sign up and then keep talking, hey, it's all good. Most of the exchanges this term, though, are 1 international student and 2 Koreans, which can be a mixed bag. Sometimes the 2 Koreans will have differing levels of English. One will speak more than the other and then can translate for you or help explain things. On the other hand, sometimes they will start talking to each other in Korean, and you have to remind them that they're there to practice English, not to speak Korean. So I really haven't had any trouble with that so far, but it's something to, again, keep in mind. But you can really just talk about anything. They're just there to mostly practice English and to get to know international people. Some people may want to practice their grammar and such for the TOEFL or the TOEIC test, which, if you're going to be an English teacher over here, you might spend some time helping them with anyway. And it's really not that hard to at least give them examples. Sometimes explaining the grammar is a little bit more difficult. But overall, it's going pretty well here. Really starting to enjoy myself, but also been very busy because of the classes and the exchanges. Just keep reading the blog, keep watching the videos. I'll be reporting it again next week by video, and 2 times this week, as always, by text. If you have any comments or questions, please be sure to send them to the email address located in the description of this video. And thank you for watching. 감사합니다. 안녕히 계세요.